Everyone. Hello and thank you for joining us on the Quick and Easy Business Discovery with SmarterJDE webinar hosted by Differentia Consulting. In the next 50 minutes or so we will be showing you how SmarterJDE with a Qlik analytics platform delivers dashboards modern businesses need to optimize all aspects of business performance. We will begin the presentation with Kit Mundy, who will discuss why Qlik is positioned as a leader in Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Kate Perry will then take over to provide an overview on SmarterJDE, which will then be followed by a live demo of the Qlik Analytics dashboard so you can witness the benefits for yourself and envision how they can help your business. Finally, after the presentations we will have a questions and answers session. You will be muted throughout the webinar, but you can submit any questions via the chat function. We will also be recording and sharing the webinar with you for further reference if needed. We hope you enjoy the webinar. I will now hand over to Kit.
Thanks very much, Belinda. Hello, this is Kit Mundy. I'm one of the directors of Differentia Consulting. What I'm going to do just very briefly is to introduce you to our SmarterJDE product, which is based on the Qlik Analytics platform. As by way of introduction, we as Differentia Consulting are an Oracle Gold partner. We have been since 2002, specializing in JD Edwards World and Enterprise One. So as part of that, we offer a full set of services around the JD Edwards product set. And in particular, we are a specialized CNC partner. Now, a few years ago, we were looking for a solution to support one of our large JD Edwards customers here in the UK, but operating globally. We looked around the market and selected QlikView as the best reporting and analysis solution which we could integrate with JD Edwards. To cut a long story short, we liked the product so much, we became a reseller and have now established as the leading Qlik elite solution provider in the UK. And the background with both Oracle JD Edwards and Qlik have led us to develop the SmarterJDE platform. To be able to put this into context, I thought it would be useful to look at the different types of reporting and analytics that a business might need, from historical performance, what happened, through to what will happen in the future, and looking at supporting decision making both at an operational and a strategic level. Now, those of you JD Edwards customers already will be used to all the standard JD Edwards reporting that you get, the UBEs, the grid, BI publisher, which provides really good analysis for what happened and some ad hoc queries. Some of you may also be aware of the Oracle OneView product, which allows real-time analysis of the transactions and ad hoc querying of the JD Edwards database. And there are a number of other products that fit into this sort of category. Where we sit here and where we're looking for a product that covers a wider range of reporting and analytics needs for our JD Edwards customers, really in as a complement to some of the existing tools. So this is what we have developed our SmarterJDE product to address, right the way from querying on transactional reports, right the way through to what-if modeling and into predictive analytics. So a bit of background, where BI, that is business intelligence, has come from is really from the 1990s, where it was very much an IT-centric architecture, where we had to get reports from our underlying data and go through some sort of data warehouse or universe to be able to provide some pre-calculated dashboards and reports. What happened though was business users needed a much more flexible way to get at their data, to be able to do their own analysis. And so what happened with products like QlikView developed this idea of dynamic dashboards, the ability to search live data in real time and to deploy that on any device. And so what we've seen is the development of a whole new market sector, which we call business discovery. Gartner call data discovery. So what makes Qlik different here? Qlik, the owners of the QlikView and Sense product, is a real innovator in the BI market. It pioneered this idea of data discovery to allow people to make decisions, to give them access to information to support that decision making. Now, Gartner have a very, very positive view of Qlik as a market leader in that data discovery market, with a strong vision around governed data discovery. And so the innovation has continued. In last year, for example, Qlik introduced a brand new product called Qlik Sense, which addresses really flexible business user self-service, and that complements our existing guided analytics platform. So what we're going to show you is some examples from both of those at a later date in this presentation. Now, Qlik is a very successful and fast-growing business, one of the fastest-growing IT companies in the world. It has now over 31,000 customers and is targeting 1 billion users. We are one of 1,700 partners worldwide. We happen to be the lead partner in the UK and are very, very prominent in the Qlik market now. So it is a big company now and very successful company, which has grown significantly over the past few years on the back of what is a very good product. The product itself, if I cover a couple of the basics here, the product is based on holding data in memory, and that data is held at a detailed transactional level of detail. So there's no summaries, there's no aggregations, and there is no need for a data warehouse. As part of that, we compress data to as much as 10% of the original size, which means that we can hold huge amounts of data in memory, and we support companies like Barclays Bank or Deutsche Bank or Vodafone, a number of other huge global businesses who hold all their transactional data in memory in Qlik. And the real key to this is that Qlik provides on-the-fly and real-time dynamic calculations of data without any pre-aggregation. And we do this through what is a patented associative data structure. Now, just to explore that a little bit more, because I think this is quite an important distinction between Qlik and basically most of the other BI and visualization tools that are on the market currently. So these tools work in a hierarchical sense, where you have to make a query on an underlying database and bring back that data. So it means that the ability to ask questions or do on-the-fly analysis is really quite limited, or it really affects the performance of your underlying systems. Qlik is very different to this. Basically, through its associative data structure, it allows you to hold this data so you can ask any question on the fly in real time, and allows you to see the disconnects and associations in that data. Now, this is absolutely unique to Qlik. No other product has this. Qlik also allows us to get data from lots of other sources, not just from JD Edwards. We routinely provide and get data from other business systems that our customers have, and that is a very easy thing to do within the Qlik platform. Qlik can also be deployed completely mobile on any device, so that means you can deploy it anywhere for all different types of users in your organization without any additional software costs. So that's out of the box. And finally, what Qlik allows you to do, and very interestingly as well, is to bring data in from lots of other sources, maybe social media data from things like Twitter or Facebook, or GIS data from mapping tools. And once with that data, we can use some advanced functionality and visualizations within Qlik to enable us to do some very clever and interactive mapping, budgeting, planning, and lots of other applications. We will also allow those users to share that data in multiple ways via portal, in collaborative sessions, and various other ways. So this becomes a very powerful tool. So this leads us to SmarterJDE. This is our product, which has been developed by Differentia Consulting, which is powered by the Qlik platform, and it's based on our experience and detailed knowledge of JD Edwards. And so we can bring data from JD Edwards, E1, from World, or any variants in between to enable this better decision making. So the SmarterJDE also, interestingly, provides a great tool that we use as part of all our ERP upgrades, our migrations, and even for archiving old JD Edwards data. So it is a flexible tool which has been deployed now with over 300 of our customers. I'm now going to hand over to Kate Perry, who's actually going to show you the product.
Thank you, Kit. So just as a quick introduction to myself, my name is Kate. I head up the Managed Services department at Differentia, and I manage the development of the SmarterJDE product set. For the last 7 years, I've been working with Differentia as a Qlik consultant, but prior to that, I had 10 years development as a JD Edwards Enterprise 1 developer. So hopefully I can talk to you and answer any questions, both from a JDE and a Qlik perspective. So the SmarterJDE product set is, in effect, a series of templates that have been built over different modules or functional areas of JD Edwards, some of which are listed on the screen there: AR, GL, AP, and so forth. These templates ensure that we can provide a rapid implementation in days, and which means that you can see your JD Edwards data in a Qlik interface and start using it straight away to get the benefits. You can then easily extend these templates. So they could be extended from a data perspective, which allowing you to maybe load in some additional JD Edwards data. Maybe you have some custom tables, maybe tag tables that you've created that you want to use to extend the templates. Or maybe there's some non-JD Edwards data, some Excel spreadsheets, or maybe CRM data that's held outside of JD Edwards. So the templates can be easily extended to incorporate this additional data sources. Also, from a UI perspective, I'll be showing you how the templates can be easily expanded and developed to match your business needs. So each of our templates follows a best practice 3-tier architecture. So we have the first stage. This is the extraction. So with our knowledge of JD Edwards, we know which tables we need to extract for each of the different modules. We load the raw data as it is using simple SQL select statements on your database. This means that no complex queries are being passed to your live database. It's a simple query that's returned with the raw data in a transactional format. There's no requirement for a data warehouse, as Kit mentioned. We just go straight to the database and load in that data, and that data gets compressed and stored into a QVD file, which is a QlikView data file. The second stage of the process is to take that raw data and transform it. So when we mention transformation, this is to cater for the renaming of the tables and fields to make each of the fields a lot more user or business friendly. We also perform Julian date conversions. We determine whether values should have decimal places, and we apply the relevant decimal place position. And also any fields which use the user-defined codes. We determine which relevant UDC is required to look up the description of the codes. Still at this stage, we have transactional level of detail. So there is no cubes being built, which significantly speeds up the development time. We don't need to know exactly how every query, every report will need to look at this stage of the development. Finally, the third stage is to provide the user interface of this transformed data. Each of our templates comes with both a QlikView and a Qlik Sense dashboard. And as Kit mentioned, the QlikView dashboards are very much for guided analytics, whereas the Qlik Sense dashboards can be used a lot more for self-service BI. So I'll be doing some examples and showing you what we have for both of those dashboards. The added benefits of using this structure is that the Stage 1 and Stage 2 of the extract and transform can be kept very much within IT or the people who know the database, which allows the freedom for the business users to take the front end and develop without needing to understand or know the JD Edwards tables. When these dashboards at the bottom here are accessed by the users, the data within those is stored in memory. And that data can be refreshed according to the reload schedule that the business dictates or requires. So it can be as real time as it needs to be. This structure also allows for incremental loads. So we're just loading new or updated data to speed up that refresh. And again, that reduces the impact on your core JD Edwards database. So each dashboard comes with the typical queries that we imagine that users are going to want to need for each particular module. These can be installed and you'll be up and running and see your data in these dashboards within a day. And also QlikView can help you to identify any data integrities that you have within a matter of days. The dashboards, as we've mentioned there, is that they can be extended. So it's a starting point that can be extended by business users, and we would recommend that that can be done by people who are just used to creating Excel charts, and maybe just with 1 or 2 days of QlikView training. So in addition to each of the templates, we have a script builder. So the script builder I actually developed originally to assist with when I was creating the templates. So when I was extracting and transforming data, I found it quite painful to go through on a field-by-field basis and work out what that field should be renamed to, how many decimal places, whether it was a Julian date. So I developed the script builder to assist me with that process, and obviously recognises the benefits that this could be used for clients as well. The script builder would be installed on your site, so it would be installed against your system tables, object librarian, data dictionary, etc., which means that we would see the tables and the fields that are relevant not only to your specific release of JD Edwards, but also to incorporate any custom tables that you've created. Okay, so I'm going to move on from PowerPoint and come in and show you an actual demo of a dashboard. So this is our sales dashboard in QlikView. So each of our templates comes with a standard format. So we have a high-level dashboard, which is completely customizable down to the logos, the color scheme, the contents, however you would want that to be displayed. So for our sales templates, we're choosing to show high-level information about customers, products, and this dashboard is interactive. I can click and I can select a particular group of customers, and I can see the products respond accordingly. This also acts as a table of contents almost, so I can choose, maybe I want to just focus in on my sales, looking at it from a product perspective. So as I come into my product sheet, I'm able to see high-level figures. I can see my total sales, the total margin, total number of customers. If I had multiple companies, I would be able to see all companies, the full group picture at once. I can then choose to start filtering or narrowing the data using these objects that we have down the left and across the top. So these are list boxes where I make my filters and my selections. So at the moment we have category codes for the customer from the address book. We also have category codes from the item master for our items or products. So I can come and I can pick up specific customers who fall within those groups, and I can see the sales, the margin, the customers update based on those selections that I've made. So what we're showing here is one of the key concepts of Qlik, is this green, white and grey. So I've selected to view 2 specific category codes. The selections that I've made turn green. Now any data that is still associated with those selections stays white. So the customers at the top here that are shown in white are the customers that are associated with those selections. As I scroll down, I can now see customers that aren't within those category codes. So this becomes really interesting because if I suddenly now choose to look at item, I scroll down, I can see the items that the customers within those categories have purchased, but also interestingly I can see the products that they haven't purchased. So you're getting answers to questions that you haven't yet thought to ask. I can search for customers just by typing in the name. So again, now I've selected a particular customer. I can now see the products that that particular customer has bought, and again, the products that they haven't. Straight away, without thinking to ask this question, I can see that that customer didn't make any purchases before 2012. If I don't know the customer name, and I maybe want to search on a field which isn't being displayed, I can use a global search. So I just start typing in a number, and it will look over the full data set that we have loaded in and return matches for that search criteria. So here it's found a match for in the customer number, the address number field, and also the long address number. So again, I can make a selection using that search object. And it's showing me in the top right-hand corner exactly where I am in the data at any point in time. Now, just as easy as making selections, if I just press the clear button, I come back to viewing the full picture. Everything is back in white. Now, not only can I make selections using these list boxes, I can also make selections within any of the charts. So I'm looking at my product sales grouped by category code, and I can see that group 0 is fairly low down on the sales relative to the other products, but it has a higher margin. I can see that group 0 is here. So maybe I want to interrogate this a bit further. Again, I can just click on that value, everything will update. I can then choose to cycle round and maybe let me see this product data by a different category code, that next level down. I can make selections by dragging within the charts. So every time I'm making selections, drilling down, I can go to my low level of detail. So now I'm showing the products, the sales, the margin by individual products. Again, I can make selections within this chart. I just drag and I view these products, looking at the analysis of the margin versus the sales for this product. So I'm just making selections any which way, clicking and viewing, and at any point in time, I can drill down and view the transactions. So for these particular products, for that particular customer set that I selected, here are the actual order details. So the order number, the line number, it's telling me the status of that, the quantity, the value, and if that's been invoiced, it's telling me the invoice number. So this is showing us this full dial to detail, drill down to transactions. Now, whilst I'm at this lowest level of detail, I could ask questions sideways. So let me find out about the shipment information for those orders. So I can now see what the order date was, the requested ship date, the promised delivery date. I can see on average whether that shipment was late or how early or how late. And whilst I'm at this low level of detail, I might want to come back up again a level and look at the high level shipment information. So I can now view this data any which way. Select late shipments, again view the transactions. Also within here we have the addresses. So we load in address book information from JD Edwards, which provides us with the down to the level of postcode, zip codes. Now from this we can actually identify the longitude, latitude of customers, which allows us to geographically plot those customers. So here I can come and look at the sales order information, but from a customer perspective as opposed to a product perspective. I can see where my customers are based, looking at the number of sales. I can not only view them geographically, but I can use this map to zoom in, to drill into the transactions. If I come in and select a specific customer, I can drill down. It's going to show me the level of detail which street that customer is on. With any of this data, you have the ability to extract to Excel. So if I make any selections, I can come and view the transactions. I could export that address data into Excel if I wanted to be able to perform some sort of mail merge. Now, as I've been making selections, I might find data that's of particular interest. Or alternatively, I might have very common queries that I want to be able to perform on a regular basis. So as I make these selections, I can choose to create a bookmark, which is kind of like saving as a favorite those selections that you've made. So I can just give it a name, which means that at any point in time, I can come back and pick up those bookmark selections. Now, when you create a bookmark, you have the option of sharing that with other users. So this enables us to use true collaboration within QlikView. So as an end user client on a web browser, I could save a bookmark, I could identify some data that doesn't look right, create that bookmark, share it with other users, and ask them to go and have a look at that same data. They will be accessing the same data source, so a single version of the truth, without me having to export data into Excel, email it, and by the time they get around to looking at it, that data has moved on. So this collaboration is a really strong part of what Qlik is all about. So also the collaboration enables you to add annotations or notes. So not only sharing selections, I could also add a question as to why this data looks like this. Another user could see that question and respond, and we could have a threaded discussion within the notes and the annotations that then any user can access. In addition, there's the option to have a shared session. So as a licensed QlikView user, I could choose to share my QlikView session with another user who may be another person who doesn't have a QlikView license, so maybe a particular customer. And we can interact with the dashboard, we can make selections alternately, share their insights, and as soon as I choose to finish that session, that person loses access to that document. So this is all about the interactive nature of the Qlik platform. There is obviously the requirement sometimes to have standard reports. So I'm just going to show you how quick and easy it is to be able to create your own reports. So I'll just come in, create a new report, I get an empty screen, and all I need to do is just drag the charts that I've already created. I can choose charts from different pages. I just drag and drop. I can drag and drop logos, and I can create headers and footers. I can insert just standard text. I'm just going to put a current selections object in here so we can see exactly where we are in the data in this report. So that's it, I've generated my report. What I can also choose to do is to band this report or create a page break. So I may choose to page break this report by one of our customer category codes. So if I click OK, I'm just going to clear my selections, and then I'm going to run this report. So as I run this report, it's going to be based on the selections that I have at the point of running it. So it's cycling through. I've chosen to cycle through this category code, and what it's basically doing, as you can see, is generating a separate page for each of those category codes. And this will allow me to view this report. I could print it directly, or alternatively, I could choose to save this to PDF and email it. So it's showing me page 1 for my first category code, page 2 for the second category code, and so on and so forth. So creating reports, static reports, is as quick as that. Finally, within the sales templates here in QlikView, I'm just going to show you the what-if analysis. So again, we're not only looking and reporting on data that we have in our system, but we're also interacting with that data. So how would this data look? We have our sales information by product. We have what the price is, what the cost is, how many quantities have sold. So this is based on real data. And then from that, we can calculate the margin. So what would happen if our prices increased by maybe 4%? How would that affect our margin? What if the quantity sold as a result of that price increase reduced by 3%? How would that affect? How about if the costs related to those products went up 2%? So I can see the analysis of how that data would look, the actual margin versus the what-if margin. And I can do that by particular products, by category code, by groups of customers to allow me to interact and analyze that data further. So I think that hopefully that gives you a good overview of, in this case, our sales template within the QlikView product set. I'm now just going to move quickly onto the Qlik Sense alternative. So this is our accounts receivable template within Qlik Sense. So again, you have the engaging visualizations, and you can structure, again, each of these sheets exactly as you need to. So with our accounts receivable, we're looking at the open debt, and based on the today's date, we're aging that into buckets compared to the due date. Again, the green, white, and grey concept is exactly the same. So I have my list boxes across the top. I can make my selections in the same way. Everything flexes, everything updates, and I can view the data accordingly. Here it's showing me the selections that I've made. I can see, using just this bar here, that by selecting those two category codes, I'm looking at roughly half of my customers. And again, if I click on the customer name, I can see the customers that are within those category codes and the grey customers underneath that aren't in those category codes. Again, I make selections. I can make selections within the charts themselves. So it's all exactly the same as we're used to in QlikView. Now, one of the key benefits of Qlik Sense is this ability to manipulate or have the screen size and the resolution adjust according to the device. So as I resize my window, maybe I'm working on a tablet, all of the charts, the objects within there will resize. If I'm working on a much smaller device, maybe a mobile device, all of the data, all of the charts will appear in a columnar format. And at any point, I can view one of those charts, click, and see the detail. One of the key elements of Qlik Sense is this ability for self-service BI. So again, let me just show you a quick demonstration. So as an end user, I might want to create a brand new sheet. Just clear some selections. So I can come in and edit. I can choose purely by dragging and dropping. I want to have a bar chart. And within this bar chart, I want to look by category code at the open amount. So straight away, I've created that chart. I change my mind. I want to see it the next level down. I can just choose to drag a different category code and replace that to change the dimension within that chart. Or maybe I want to see these open amounts relative to each other. In that case, let me change this to a pie chart. So this really enables self-service BI with Qlik Sense, this easy drag and drop where you have just simple lists of charts and a simple library of dimensions and measures are created ready for you to use. So that's a really quick overview of Qlik Sense. I just quickly want to show you the script builder before I finish. So the script builder allows you, as I mentioned before, to extend any existing templates or create any new templates where you maybe don't currently provide a template. The script builder generates this script to perform this transformation of the JD Edwards data. So this would be installed. You would then see a list of the tables that are specific to your implementation. You can choose a particular table that you're interested in reviewing, so maybe accounts payable. I can come and then see the fields that are within that table. I could choose to select particular fields that I want to view, or I can leave it to view all fields. Now, once I've chosen which fields I'm interested in, I can choose to generate that script. And if I come, I can view that script, I can copy that script, and if I was to create a brand new QlikView document, I can paste that script. So this is based on the table and the fields that I've selected. It's generated the QlikView script to do the renaming of the fields, the Julian date conversions, decimal place conversions, and then finally the UDC lookups. So for every field within this table that has a UDC, it will know to go and look up the relevant description from the user-defined code table. So hopefully you can see the benefits of using the script builder to vastly speed up the development of new QlikView documents or Qlik documents over JD Edwards. Okay, so that's everything from me. It's now over to Q&A session.
Thank you, Kate. So we've had a couple of questions, so we'll move on to answer those now. So firstly, how does security work?
So the security within Qlik can work at various different levels. So at the very highest level, it's mostly done with Windows permissions. So you can assign that a certain person can see a particular QlikView dashboard or QlikView document. Security can then be applied within the document itself at the next level down. So you can secure out particular sheets. So maybe you have a high-level management dashboard, which is only viewable to the high-level management. You may have more detailed operational sheets at that next level down that can be viewable by different people. So not only can the sheets and the charts be secured to different sets of users, you can then go that next level down and secure out the data. So maybe within the sales application, you have 5 sales teams, and you want each of those sales teams to only view their own sales team's data within that same dashboard. So that next level of data reduction can be applied. Now, we have created this data reduction security based on JD Edwards security. So if you have row-level security set up in the security workbench within JD Edwards that secures out certain companies for certain groups of users or certain roles, then that can be loaded as an additional data source into QlikView to drive the security.
Perfect, thank you, Kate. And how are the dashboards accessed or deployed by end users?
So the dashboards are created with like a development client, and then they're published by posting those dashboards onto the QlikView server. Once the dashboards are on the QlikView server, that's what handles the memory. The memory on that server handles the data, and then users can access just via a web browser. So they may access just a URL on their laptop, maybe their tablet device, or their mobile device. So it's built once and stored up on the server, and then just end users access it, which means that using a web browser, which means that there's no data, there's no secure data or confidential data that's being stored on individual laptops that could be left on the train or so on. It's there, it's all held centrally.
Great, and then we have a final question. How complex is it to implement?
So each template can be installed in a day. So we would just bring along the template, connect it to your specific JD Edwards ODBC connection, reload the data, and then you can view that data within a day.
Thank you. Well, that's all, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our presenters, Kit and Kate. We hope you all found the webinar to be informative and inspiring. We'll follow up with you in the next 10 days, but in the meantime, please do feel free to contact us at info@differentia.co. And as mentioned earlier, if there are any questions we haven't answered, we will cover these in follow-up communications to you all when we send out the recording. Thank you for joining us.